Welcome to the Midlife Leap, a lifestyle talk show for women in midlife. I'm your host, Sanita Johnson, and I am excited to share tips and interviews on topics ranging from business, career, current news, fashion, shopping, health, travel, and so much more. And because I'm known as the Midlife Leap Coach, from time to time, I'll share some of my Midlife Leap coaching tips. So come on, ladies, let's reignite and reimagine our Midlife Leap journey together. Are you on the verge of quitting your job in a blazing rage while giving the boss and coworkers the F finger on your way out? Well, you're not alone, because last year, over 40 million people left their jobs due to COVID-19 concerns, low pay, toxic culture, and lack of career growth opportunities. While quitting rates have slacked off from their record highs, they still remain elevated. Now, here are a few tips, 3 tips actually, to avoid rage quitting. Number 1, pause, breathe, strategize, and then take silent action. You want to create an action plan for your exit. Think about what you want to do when you do leave and set a clear plan. Now, if your current job provides contacts or income to fund your next move, you want to plan it and set an exit date having accomplished the goals that you set for yourself before leaving. Step number 2, keep working. Make sure that you do your work through the end of your notice, your planned exit date, and do your best to tie up any projects or loose ends before you leave. Tip number 3, prepare your talking points to avoid an uncomfortable conversation when you give your resignation to your boss. You want to select a day of the week that is usually less busy and have this conversation with your boss first, whether it's by email, face-to-face, or video conference. That means don't share it with your coworkers, anyone on the job, because you never know who you can't trust, and you don't want to start office gossip and then have it get back to the boss that you plan to leave. Now, if by chance there is someone that you feel that you can trust on the job, just know that if you tell them of your plans to exit, you could possibly be betrayed, and if you are, make sure you're okay to leave before your planned time, meaning you're okay financially or whatever your other plans, like have a backup plan, because we all know in real life that you generally don't know you can't trust someone until you know you can't trust someone. Right? Now, if you are quitting because you are simply angry over ill treatment, I understand your rage. I've been there before. I'm still shocked at my ability to restrain myself when I was at a high level of pissed offtivity when an incompetent manager questioned me about using my vacation time to fly out of town to take care of my ailing father. Now, mind you, I'm an only child, so no one else was going to do what I needed to do for my dad. Also, he was bleeding on the brain. He could have died. Yes, I'm still shocked at my ability to restrain myself, but I let HR handle it. Plus, the best revenge is leaving with class and getting back to your happiness and success. Remember, the best revenge is success and happy. Dr. Sylvia Gonsahn-Bollie is an award-winning physician with over 10 years of clinical experience and a dual certified obesity specialist. Dr. Bollie founded Embrace You Weight and Wellness to address the disparities in personalized obesity care. Embrace You Weight and Wellness is a virtual wellness and weight loss telehealth and virtual coaching service launched in August 2020 during the pandemic. Embrace You uses individual and group coaching to produce sustainable weight loss. In addition, Dr. Bollie is an inspirational public speaker, a content creator, obesity education consultant, and best-selling author of Embrace You, Your Guide to Transforming Weight Loss Misconceptions into Lifelong Wellness. And by the way, it's Healthline.com's best weight loss book of 2022. Dr. Bollie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here and share with your magnificent audience. Thank you for having me.
Well, you're a wellness coach who has maintained a 60-pound weight loss yourself for over 8 years. What is weight gain? Is it weight gain trigger, or what are weight gain triggers?
Absolutely. So, so often we focus on what you weigh or those numbers, but we don't ask those questions about why. Like, why am I overeating? Why don't I feel like exercising? Like, why am I going in this cycle of dieting, overeating? So, weight gain triggers are really asking yourself that question of why and where is this coming from? And I found both in my experience as a physician, my background's internal medicine. Then I also have another certification in obesity medicine, which is really looking at the study of how the body metabolism and how it processes fat. So from that, I'm a certified fitness instructor, and then I am a mental health champion, and I'm also a child of God. So I put it all together and really look at it from a whole person integrative perspective of what are the triggers from your body, what are the triggers from your mind or the psychological aspect, and what are the triggers from the soul, from the spirit. So really, there's over 100 weight gain triggers, and they can come from the body, mind, or soul.
Okay, so you help clients to stop obsessing about the scale. Uh, are they embracing nutritionist food? I understand you have an individualized planning that you help your clients with.
Yeah. So yes, I help them stop obsessing over the scale, counting those calories. And how we do that is by getting clarity over what are your unique weight gain triggers. So the way that I do it is putting it all together, because usually what happens with anyone who's gone on a weight loss journey or a wellness journey, which ultimately is what we're doing, like weight is just a symptom, but you're trying to become overall well and healthy and whole, right? So it usually takes you all over the place, just like you said. You go to the doctor, they send you to a nutritionist, then you go to the nutritionist, they send you to a fitness professional, then maybe you're lucky and get referred to a therapist, maybe you're lucky someone talks to you about sleep. So what I do in Embrace You is literally that. It is the science and soul of you. I help you put it all together. So I go through and we look at what are your controllable weight gain triggers, your uncontrollable weight gain triggers in 11 key domains. So the biological, the psychological, the movement, and how all of those things play into the habits that you have. I call them the food, move, mood habits. And then we develop a strategy that for each category. And then through our time together, it starts with a 12-week journey, which I call your Embrace You Breakthrough Journey. During our time together, we'll meet bi-weekly, one-on-one, then as a group once a week, and we will go through and come up with small goals to help you overcome these weight gain triggers. And the main thing is to get you out of that cycle. And so the primary thing that I really help in those 12 weeks, people really help is getting the clarity of how everything works together and how it fits together, but really healing their relationship with food is one of the big things, and healing their relationship with moving their body so that you'll be able to stay consistent and feel confident in the choices that you make. So we cover nutrition, we cover fitness, we cover sleep, stress management, and even like one of the things I love being on Midlife Leave, we cover fulfillment, because a lot of times the hungry, unfulfilled soul is really going to try to feed it, and that may be food. So we deal with that.
Wow, it's funny you said that, because I was just thinking, what about the midlife trigger? That's probably a food trigger. So you already hit that. But I like that you do the one-on-one, which, I mean, you're their accountability partner, the source of all the knowledge, but yet but then you also have the group coaching with that as well. So they're working with and listening to people who are dealing, they have accountability partners with people who are going through it with them. And that's really different.
Absolutely. I mean, again, if I nerd out for a moment, I can't help. I'm a nerd. I've been in school most of my life. So, like, if I nerd out for a moment, if we look at like what are the studies and what are the programs that show how people who are able to maintain weight loss, it has a group component to it. And again, my specialty is really personalized weight loss. So I love reading these studies and the big body data. But what we're missing, and I think why we have an obesity crisis, is that taking that big data and personalizing it to the individual. And when we look at personalized programs, really that one-on-one is helpful, but having a group and having a support system is so integral.
Yeah, because a diet, I'm sure it could be feeling like you're on a diet or whatever could feel like a lonely solo journey, which probably is why many people fall off of it. But also, again, the word diet is very bothersome to me. When people say they need to go on a diet, I always think, no, you probably need more of a life. I guess a change in the way you eat, because if you diet, then you're depriving yourself of things that your body probably need, or you're just giving yourself a sense of being deprived. And once you get off of it, you probably eat more of it and gain all of it back or more.
Absolutely. So the textbook answer, a diet is technically a pattern of eating, but how we have commercialized it and how it's been marketed is you die to certain foods, right? It has the word diet. It is not a good thing. So you die to certain foods and you deprive yourself of certain foods. And so I totally agree with you. And in the book, like actually that's one of my chapters. So chapter 5 is your ideal eating plan, and I call it an eating plan. And so in every chapter in my book starts with a mindset shift, because in the wise words of those women of In Vogue, free your mind and the rest will follow, right? So so every chapter starts. So for that chapter, it's actually release, I have to go on a diet, and embrace food is my fuel. So shifting that mindset to really, how does food support me? How does it nourish me? How is it helping me get to my goals? And the goal may not always be a scale goal. It may be, I just want to have more energy. I want to have better bowel movements. I want, like whatever that, and I want to sleep better tonight. I want to have better sex. Like whatever that goal is, that is what the food should be fueling. But a lot of times when we're not thinking about that or just going for those quick fixes, we choose foods that aren't supplying our needs or fueling our goals.
So tell me, how do you work with, midlife? There's a term for midlife weight gain, and I can't think of it right now, but that's an issue where naturally as we get older we tend to gain more weight. Can your plan help with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's like one of the major demographics I work with, because I like to say I work with grown folks. So, a grown up is somebody who is a woman who knows who they are. They've accomplished a lot in life. They know kind of what works for you and what doesn't work for you in one regard. And you're not looking to get on the next gimmick or the next diet or phase, because you've been there and you've done that. And so our work together is to figure out, yes, there are some true uncontrollable things that you can't address, just like you mentioned. So when we talk about menopausal weight gain, or sometimes people will call it androgenic weight gain, because you shift from that estrogen predominance to having more testosterone during the midlife or postmenopausal period. So those are things you cannot control. So again, my goal